One of Washington's most bizarre feuds now coming to a boil. President Trump today blasting George Conway, husband of his senior advisor Kellyanne Conway, as a total loser after his 2020 campaign manager took a shot at George Conway, tweeting he hurts his wife because he's jealous of her success. Just 2 years ago, the conservative lawyer was a Trump supporter considered for a Justice Department job, bowing out, writing, "Kellyanne and I continue to support the president." But Conway's turned into one of President Trump's fiercest critics, attacking, even mocking him on a daily basis. The latest suggesting the president's not mentally fit to serve, even posting from the American Psychiatric Association's Manual of Disorders, citing narcissistic personality disorder with its need for admiration and lack of empathy, adding his condition is getting worse. Kellyanne Conway's take on her husband's tweets?
No, I don't share those concerns.
Why does George Conway tweet tonight, telling the Washington Post, "It's so maddening to watch. It's so I don't end up screaming at Kellyanne about it." The president's dismissed him publicly before.
You mean Mr. Kellyanne Conway? He's just trying to get publicity for himself.
Another Trump target tonight, the late Senator John McCain, the focus of critical weekend tweets from the president. NBC's Kristen Welker asking about it.
Why are you attacking Senator John McCain 7 months after his death?
I'm very unhappy that he didn't repeal and replace Obamacare. I was never a fan of John McCain, and I never will be.
McCain's daughter Megan today retweeting one of her father's longtime aides who described the president as a man her father despised.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.